like Jose Luis said, my name is Luis Fernandez, and I spent about 10 years conducting research studies on local history, state, and national. And on that role, aside from that, I've also, teach. I have taught at the adjunct faculty for about 6 years. And one of my things, the expert that I do in terms of what I teach is I teach Mexican American history. And I'm also a full-time executive director at a local museum. And so one of the things that I've learned very quickly in becoming a historian by profession, and that is that the role of the historian is actually to bring to light those stories that have not been told, right? That if you're in high school or you grew up in K-12 education and never heard any history of you, of Mexican Americans, it is intended so. So the role of the historians is to actually dig up those stories, publish them, and tell them, put them in exhibition so that people can be empowered. The next generation can be empowered. And so in my lectures, I actually deconstruct my students' identity and empower them who they are. So some of my students in my classes, first 2 weeks are mad. Not at me, but they're mad that they haven't been told this kind of history. And so they began to understand what K-12 education was, right? An Americanization process. And so my students, by the end of the class, I've empowered. I provided a transformational education for them where they themselves now empowered with their own identity and become successful. Towards the end of the class, in some of my books that I use are offered a different perspective of history, include their perspective in history, men and women. So some of these books have actually been banned in other states. So to some extent, I have become a traficante, or a trafficker of knowledge, okay? And in so doing, my students get empowered. Okay, that is the cost. Okay, and towards the end of the 16-week semester, I tell my students, you've been here with me for 16 weeks. You may not have liked what I have taught. You may not have gotten bored at some point, but you made it here. And I want to know what motivates you to come here and succeed. So I asked each one, what is your motivating factor to succeed? And so each one usually says, I want to show that Latinas can do better than stay-at-home moms, or the stereotypical thing that they play in Hollywood. I want to prove my family wrong, that I want to be the first generation Mexican-American graduate from college. Or I want to prove society wrong, that I'm not a rapist and a criminal. And so towards the end, I tell my students that these are the same factors that motivated me to succeed. And I tell my students that besides being their instructor, I'm there for them. Because one of the things that you need is mentors and motivators. And irregardless, I want my students to come out with one thing, that I care for them and that I want them to solely succeed. So that is my goal for you, and that is the goal for all of us. Thank you.